All right, welcome to Talkin Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to go through Bitcoin and the Bitcoin miners and do an update. We had a lot of price action on Bitcoin. We had a lot of price action on the Bitcoin miners and the entire stock market. So I want to just summarize what happened and then go through the miners in specific and talk about where we may be going. So for those of you new to the channel, we talk about Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners all the time on this channel. So if that is content you're interested in, please remember to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell. Also, if everybody could smash the like button, I would appreciate it. It helps the channel out a lot. Lastly, if you want to support the channel, you can hit the join button on the YouTube page and you can become a member. We have some members only content, as well as once a week we do a members only live stream. So we'll be glad to have you there. If you're using Apple products and you don't see the join button, then you can hit the link below. So the market just closed. The S&P 500 was up 2.6%. The Dow was up 2.8%. The NASDAQ was up 2.2%. And the Russell 2000 was up 2.2%. So that is up over 2% across the board. 10 to 15 minutes into the market opening, there is nobody that would have dreamed this is where the market was going to end. The market was tanking, particularly really the first 5 minutes of the day, and Bitcoin had a very similar reaction. We're going to go through that when we get to the chart. Bitcoin in particular had one bad 5-minute candle. It basically spent the rest of the day going up. So I do think this was a turning point. I've been calling for a relief rally for a long time, so I guess this could be a better late than never situation, but we'll see. Okay, so let's go to the Bitcoin miner big board and take a look at what happened to the Bitcoin miners, and then we will go take a look at what happened to Bitcoin. This turns out to be an across the board mostly green day. There were a couple of exceptions. There were 3 stocks that were just a little bit in the red, and Argo Blockchain, which we're going to take a look at later. Argo Blockchain was down 7.4%. This is the 4th or 5th day in a row. They're having kind of a catastrophic run here. And actually, when you get to the chart, you're going to see down 7% is way up from where they started the day. But let's talk about the good news. The good news is there were a lot of things that performed very well today. Bitfarms was up 6%. HUT was up 5%. Riot was up 4%, Marathon was up 7.7%, Stronghold was up 13%, which ends a 4 or 5 days losing streak for Stronghold, so possibly we've found a bottom there. The ones that lagged a little bit, CleanSpark struggled all day. It did end up in the green, but it spent most of the day in the red. It ended up 1.3%, and Core Scientific ended up less than 1%. So those two were laggers on the day today. But all in all, this is an extremely positive board, anywhere from green to very green for most of the larger Bitcoin miners. Okay, this is Bitcoin on the 15-minute time frame. So as always, there's an orange line where Bitcoin was when the equity markets closed in the US yesterday. So Bitcoin was at about 19,136 yesterday when the equity markets closed. You can see we treaded along sideways for a while. Just before, about an hour before the CPI data came out, people looked like they got a little nervous and we took a turn to the downside, and then we had this very big red candle. This is on the 15-minute time frame, but I will tell you, if I switch to the 5-minute time frame, this red candle would be just the same. This all happened within 5 minutes. So Bitcoin pretty much flash crashed in 5 minutes or less, hit a line of support, and then you can see the rest of the day, it pretty much went up in almost a straight line. When we look at it in the larger time frame, you're going to see it bumped into this green line at around 19,200. That has been resistance as of the last week, and it bounced off of that for a couple of hours, but then it broke through that, and once it did, it broke strong to the upside. So that is one of the things that I'm going to be looking for to confirm that we are in a relief rally and that maybe the next couple thousand points are up. I think we stand a chance of running up to 25,000, but one day does not a rally make. However, you can see this was a very volatile day. From the bottom to where we closed on the day, it was basically 7% change in Bitcoin. So that is a gigantic change for one day. The biggest red candle on the day was also the largest volume candle on the day, and this is on the 15-minute time frame. So this is about the largest 15-minute candle we've had in the last month. And again, it looks like we went right down to this blue line of support here around 18,150. I think we actually went a little lower to 18,130, but we found some support there and ran right straight back up, even within the first 5 minutes, although this is a 15-minute candle. Okay, things become a lot more obvious here on the 4-hour time frame. So again, you can see this is the first 4-hour candle. This is where the market opened today. So look at the giant candle wick all the way down to this line of support. That's 2 gigantic green candles back to back on the 4-hour time frame. We're now starting another candle, and we seem to be having another leg up, so we'll see if that continues. A couple of important things happened that lead me to believe that there's a very good chance that we're going to start to rally from here. This morning on the 4-hour RSI, we got down into oversold territory. We got under 25, so that is well into oversold territory. So that's a good reset on the 4-hour time frame, and you can see we have run up since then. We're right now at 60 on the 4-hour RSI. So 50 is neutral. We've broken through that 50 line. We're over 60. If we can stay over 50 on the 4-hour RSI, that's going to be another signal that I think we're headed for some more upward potential. If I look at the 4-hour MACD, this had a dramatic turn. So this has been fairly neutral for a few days. It was drifting between bullish and bearish crossovers. We had a bearish crossover just before we got our CPI data this morning, and it looked like things were going to head the wrong way. But again, that reaction only lasted a few minutes. And then all of a sudden, we had a bullish crossover almost immediately, and we are now picking up some momentum on the MACD on the 4-hour time frame. If you look at the histogram, that is 2 decisive green candles now. So this is headed very much in the right direction. Again, this would be another one we're going to look at tomorrow, and if this continues this way, then I think we're looking at a nice relief rally. Okay, lastly, this is Bitcoin on the 1-day time frame. So this makes it very obvious. You can see like this is a hammer candle. This was very nearly a perfect retest. And again, it stayed there for less than 5 minutes and immediately rebounded. And you can see it went from deep red into the green. So this daily candle has not closed yet, but it looks like unless something strange happens, we're going to have a very solid green candle. We had a green candle yesterday. We had a little bit of a capitulation with bottoming out and retesting the lows there from 3 weeks ago. So all these things seem to be pointing in the right direction, in my opinion. So we're sitting at about 19,470 right now. So the next line that we're looking at is just under 20,000. That's a line we've been crossing back and forth for months now. So I would be looking for that to be the next line that we take out. Just to take a look at the RSI on the 1-day time frame, we're at about 48.5 right now. So not quite up to 50, but this does seem to be trending in the right direction. So we definitely want to see this get over 50 and take a run from there. So if this can get and close over 50 by today or tomorrow, then there's a bunch of room left to the upside. And again, we just had a rally that ended in August where Bitcoin got up to 25,000. So I'm looking for some similar rally to that. We've been faked out now, or at least I've been faked out now 3 or 4 times over the last month where it looked like that was about to happen and then we had a pullback. So we'll see if this is another fake out, but this by far looks to be the most decisive move to the upside out of all the ones we've seen since the rally ended on August 15th. So the 1-day MACD had also a dramatic reversal. We had a bearish crossover and then immediately a bullish crossover. So we printed one red candle on the histogram, then we basically bottomed out, digested the CPI data, and it was uphill from there. So, you know, we haven't built massive momentum here yet, but we did have a bullish crossover. We do have a green candle on the histogram going, and you can see there's a lot more room to the upside potential here. So given that there's not a lot of news between now and the time the Fed meets on November 2nd, I don't really see a lot getting in the way of a nice little rally here. And the market is behaving very, very similarly. You can see there was a massive turnaround in the market. If I look at the NASDAQ today, you know, the NASDAQ ended up a couple of percent, but the NASDAQ was down over 3% this morning. So we went from down 3% to up 2%. That's over a 5% move intraday on the NASDAQ. So that is a big move. The S&P 500, the SPY, acted very similarly to this, as did all the other indexes. So you can see everything kind of bottomed out on high volume and really turned around and finished very strong into the close today. I just want to visit the Fear and Greed Index here for a minute. We have been in the low 20s for a long time now. We hit 20 yesterday. This will reset in a few hours. But what I wanted to show you is this is on the 1-month time frame. You'll see we've continuously hit 20, but we have not gotten below 20, not even once. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Dating all the way back to the end of August, we kind of hit 20. That has been absolute rock solid support ever since. We have not gone below 20 even for 1 day since then. I've been saying on this channel that we bottomed out in June, and when we flash crashed down to about 17,500, I know a lot of people are still expecting to revisit that, and I can't rule that out. Anything's possible. In my mind, I've been saying if we do revisit that, it will only be a flash crash down to that. I don't think we're going to close daily candles down there. But now I think the chances of even flash crashing to that point are getting smaller and smaller. The Fear and Greed Index on June 19th, so that was within a few days of Bitcoin's low. That got down to 6. So the Fear and Greed Index spent almost a week under 10. That's unprecedented territory. So, that along with a lot of the other indicators really tells me that that was a very, very strong bottom. So it's not impossible that world events could dictate somehow we end up lower, but we did put in a very strong bottom, and it has held ever since. We have not been anywhere near this since then. Okay, lastly, I just want to take a little bit of a closer look at the Argo blockchain chart. Argo blockchain put out a press release about 6 days ago. There was some not so great news in that. They were doing some dilution to the extent of about 15 or 16%. In addition to that, they were actually selling a bunch of their brand new Bitcoin mining machines that were still in the box. I think that really shook the confidence of investors, and you'll see in a 6-day period, Argo blockchain is down 55%. That is a monstrous move to the downside. So this seems to be in a bit of a free fall. It closed down almost 8%, but it was down nearly 20% early this morning. So this has not yet found a bottom. It is still in a free fall. We'll see. This was basically a green day. So if it was going to catch, this would have been a day where it could have caught itself and maybe turned around, but it did not. It continued to have a heavy move to the downside. So I'm watching Argo closely. I don't know where the bottom is here on this one. Another noteworthy item is Bitfarms got back over $1 today. So Bitfarms closed at just under 93 cents yesterday. It got as low as 89 cents this morning in the flash crash, but it did get back over $1 and close over $1. So I know getting under $1 makes a lot of people nervous. So Bitfarms did close over $1 today. I think actually when it settles out, I think it actually closed at $1. So that was a very, very healthy sign for Bitfarms. I'm just going to close out on the 15-minute time frame, and you can see we're very, very near our highs on the day. And that goes all the way back to Monday morning. So that's our high on the week pretty much. So let's see if we can break out to the upside. I've gone through a few things that I think we need to see happen for us to take the next leg up and hopefully start to test this pink line. So that's just under 20,000. That is my next price target if we can continue this rally. So that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys had a good day investing, and remember to subscribe to the channel and smash the like button.